It's really good. Little Rascals is a classic.
What's it even about? I'm assuming rascals that are small.
Yeah.
In stature.
Reba McEntire. You know who Reba McEntire is?
Sadly.
She's in it.
Yeah, that's a good reason not to watch it.
She plays soapbox derby.
She plays a soccer mom from Texas.
She's a soapbox derby. She's like the race-winning soapbox derby champion person that presents the trophy.
Ah.
That's how I found out who Reba McEntire was.
Even more redneck. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I found out who Reba McEntire was. What do we say, episode 5?
Episode
Cinco de Mayo.
Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Level 2 Bargain Basement.
Hello.
My name is Keegan. I'm one half Level 2 Gaming. I'm hanging out with my buddy Tom here. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm good. It's nice to have you back.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah. You weren't here last week, so the last time you were here was the week before that. That's 2 weeks.
Oh, that's true.
You can't math very
well.
well.
I was off a week.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for a week.
Yeah,
That's
which
what I was thinking.
in real time is 2 weeks.
I was. No, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was off 1 week.
Count the days.
That's how we're doing it. I was off working last Tuesday, so I couldn't be here
Mhm.
when we record everything. So,
Yep.
but I'm back, and we're getting back into Bargain Basement. You did a pretty good job. I watched majority of what you recorded by yourself.
Thank you.
I haven't seen all of it yet because
It's difficult. You know, you knew it was gonna be because you
Oh,
kept giving me shit. But
yeah,
it was
Like,
it
you
wasn't. So we tried it with me and Jess because
Mhm.
there's a couple podcasts actually that me and Jess recorded for funsies, and
you might see those at some point.
yeah, and
You
we
probably
did do a VR section together. But the problem when one of you doesn't really know
No.
how to answer the things that you're saying or how to comment on them.
You-
She did a good job, like for someone that doesn't know anything about it really. But yeah, I think it ended up being better for me just to do it by myself. So.
It's interesting. So, this is completely off topic from Bargain Basement before we get into it. But one of the reasons I chose you as a partner is because I knew you could talk about things. Because it's very weird. It's different talking about video games to your friends versus talking to video games and having a discussion
Talking
about
two
them.
video games, you just said?
Talking about video games and having a discussion about them. Because I can give you questions to answer and you could say yes, no, but you elaborate on them. That makes sense?
Which is why it's hard to do it by yourself, because
Yes.
there would be moments when I'd be like, what do you think?
Oh, wait, you're not here.
Yeah,
Did you
like,
put
no one
like
to
a
bounce things off.
should have put like a Muppet here? Like, so what
I
do you
was
think, Muppet
tempted.
Keegan?
I was really tempted to
I
make
could've
a
recorded voiceover.
cardboard cutout of you and just kind of sit you there, but
that'd be
I
creepy.
couldn't find a picture.
Oh, that'd
Plus, it would be
creepy.
real pixelated. I'd need
Yeah.
like a good one.
Yeah. But anyways, as we start off every Bargain Basement, let's start off with the news.
Exciting.
The big news, I think, and I think you would agree, the big news is Bungie has officially announced Destiny 2.
Yeah, they did.
They released
They
an
done did
image
it.
on their Twitter account with, it just says Destiny and the big giant number 2. Lots of speculation what that means, but it looks like potentially going to Mars. I don't know much about the Destiny lore, because as you know, I've have a very hate relationship with that game.
A hate relationship.
Very hate, nope, just hate.
Okay.
Not hate, just hate. Actually, if we count how many times I tried to play it, it'd be hate, because I've tried it 3 times.
Triple
I
hate.
bought it with my PS4 at launch. As a lot of people know, the launch Destiny kind of sucked.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories about the original Destiny in
And how it
terms
was
of what
supposed to be
happened to
good.
it. Yeah, like
It was
they
supposed to
said,
be
like
good.
the art director left midway through, and the story guy left midway through, and there's all these kind of tales about what it was supposed to be. And then, of course, you had gamers that actually found these kind of unfinished areas of the game.
Because they're going to. You're always going to have somebody find something.
Right, but they looked like they'd genuinely just been abandoned. There was supposed to be a lot more there, and the
Yeah.
game was just bare bones when it came out. I was a first day adopter, and they had 5 planets, a couple things on each planet, and that was it. That was the whole kit and caboodle.
When I bought my PlayStation, as Madden and as Destiny, I've told the story many a times, but Destiny is supposed to be the game that holds me over until I had money to buy more games, because, I'm a broke person. It's hard to buy games. Games are expensive. And I had Madden, I was like, I guess I'm playing Madden for the next 3 months, because there's no other game I want right now that's out.
Yeah, it was a slow start. What surprises me most about this, though, is the fact that at Destiny launch, all of you will remember that Bungie said, we're putting 10 years into this game. We're going to make this game last for 10 years and just keep adding to it. And, to their credit, they have been pretty consistent with adding new material to the game to the point where now
Taken King was good.
Yeah, now to the point where, okay, you probably should have released that as Destiny and then added more things to it, as opposed to this be, where you end up at. This should have been where you began at. But the fact that they are seemingly abandoning the idea of the 10-year plan and moving on to a sequel, which for a lot of folks is annoying.
We talked about, before we started recording, we talked about it a little bit, where I think there's two reasons, or one, the big reason they did this is people like me. People were so mad when the game came out that no matter what expansion they make, I'm not going to buy it because I have such a bad taste from Destiny 1.
Right.
And if you make a whole new game, yes, there's still going to be those people like, I'm not going to buy it because the game sucked. But there are the people like me, they're like, okay, if Destiny 2 comes out and it's good, why would I not pick it up?
Yeah.
Type thing. So versus
it almost is a refresh button as well,
yes.
Because obviously a big challenge of getting into a game like Destiny late in the game is the fact that everyone else is always massively over leveled. So you go in there just, having to take your time, not really being able to do any of the end game content, and it's frustrating that you can't get
When I started playing with David, Brian, all them, I basically just went through the game as quick as I could, which kind of sucked because I feel like I don't know the guns very well and I don't know what I'm doing.
You miss the story elements and
that
stuff.
kind of stuff. The other reason I think we have to talk about this. I don't think it's been official announcement or not. I think it has, where the only thing that's going to be transferred over from your current character is visuals. Your guns aren't coming over, your stats aren't coming over, none of that's coming
just
over.
How you look.
And it sucks because there's people that, again, Destiny was very controversial at launch because of how bare bones it was.
It does have a cultish community.
And people stuck with it, and I feel like you're kind of burning those bridges for helping get the broad, because they said they want to get a broader audience.
Well, here's the thing with Destiny 2. Not only does it have to appeal to the likes of me and you, people that felt burnt by the first edition, but also with the people moving over, they have to feel like they've done enough to warrant them moving over, which is the balance, because it can't be Destiny like point to. Yeah. It has to be like incredible graphic achievements, definitely better arenas, definitely a better understanding of the RPG elements, and they have to improve it in so many areas in order to convince those people that did dedicate their time and effort into the first Destiny to move to the second one. So you're right, it's difficult to win over two fan bases, like people that have rejected you and people that have embraced you. Yeah. So I wish them luck. I really do hope that it does well, but I don't know.
Do you plan on picking it up?
I will. I'm very much wait and see.
That's how I'm at. I'm at the, like I said, I got burned from the first Destiny, and I'm just like,
yeah, I don't think they've earned me the ability to pick it up on launch. I need to see more than a picture, obviously,
with a giant number 2 on it.
Yeah,
that's not enough for you.
And knowing that they did actually pull out the stops to fix the first game in many elements gives me more confidence in them to do it right this time. So I am definitely open-minded on it. And
Bungie is like, if Destiny fails, which I don't think it will, even if Destiny 2 is not good, it's a continuation of just Destiny and they have some of the same issues. If Destiny fails, Bungie goes under.
Yeah.
Like they've tied their existence to this game, so they have to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
So,
and we know they can do it.
Oh yeah,
that team is very talented.
Yes.
So and there was nothing wrong with the gameplay elements of the
no, the gameplay was fantastic.
It was just the story.
There was nothing there.
The fact there wasn't any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on, next bit of news here is one you might actually like. Final Fantasy 15's Gladios DLC has dropped.
Awesome.
Explore new areas in EOS and fight like a burly man. Do you want to fight like a burly man?
Sure. Why not? I'm excited for this. Here's the thing about Final Fantasy, and I'm still very grateful that game came out. Something happened during my playthrough that I left it for a little while to do something else, and I never came back to it. And I regret that because I know there's a lot of solid content in that game, but at the same time, you have to kind of take a self-reflective look at that and go, well, if there was nothing there that made me want to pick it up, because Mass Effect, on the contrary, and I know we can get into Mass Effect all day because that's already its own kettle of fish as far as reviews go, but that's a game that actually has me addicted to the point where I feel like I have to keep coming back to it. Final Fantasy never grabbed me there. So I'm coming to the realization that Final Fantasy 15, even though it is a superb game in many elements...
Hey, that was your game of the year 2016.
I know. Like, there needs to be more, and so this is great news.
Yeah. So the DLC, the story follows after Gladios, after he loses High Command Ravus. I don't know these names.
I'm excited to listen to you.
He pairs up with Kor to challenge the shield of the Founder King, the Blade Master Gilgamesh.
Yeah, that was good.
I know that one because that's in the Smurfs.
That's also phonetic. You said how it looks.
You can pick up the DLC for $4.99 US or £3.99.
That's not shabby.
On Xbox Game Store and PS Store. Here's a rundown of what you're going to get. A new story from Gladio's perspective, uncovering the events that transpired when you left the party in Final Fantasy XV's main storyline. Spoiler alert, apparently, I'm guessing.
It's not that much of a spoiler.
An exhilarating combat system that capitalizes on Gladios' blocking and counterattacking playstyle through the new Valor and Rage system. Ooh. Previous inaccessible parts of EOS that are... EOS that are now open for exploration. Special items like me carry over from the main game, exclusive to those who complete episode Gladios.
Interesting. Also,
2 brand new gameplay modes, Score Attack and Final Trial, made available upon completing episode Gladios.
There's a weird connection there because EOS is the name of the first planet that you land on in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So it's out now on PS4, Xbox One.
You know what I want to know? You know what I want to know?
$5. What do you want to know?
When's the VR DLC coming to Final Fantasy?
Oh.
They announced that way before they announced any of this shit.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they're either having difficulties or they're making sure that it's not just like a joke DLC. But at least they are making DLC. So that's I'm not mad about it. I will get back into that game. There's too much there to leave. And I was enjoying it when I was playing it, but it's good to see that they're adding to it. And it doesn't sound like there's a lot in there, but I think it's priced perfectly for that content.
This was just released, so this is actually news that I didn't plan to put in here, but it literally just dropped on here. Final Fantasy XIV drops 14-day free trial limit, play up to level 35.
Yeah, that's not that new, actually. I read that a little bit this morning.
This is 1 hour ago.
This site is incorrect.
Yeah.
This was broken this morning, and
Kotaku probably.
I think it was PlayStation actually that posted it on Facebook.
Because Kotaku's pretty good at breaking stuff.
Yeah, and they said now the limitations have been taken off Final Fantasy XIV. You can play till level 35, which I think is great. But the thing about that is, it is a fucking massive download. So you really do have to either have already bought an external HD or I don't know.
Yeah. So
it's good. It's a good deal. 35, so decent level.
Yeah, most of them didn't do 10 to 12. It's kind of the stopping point, but I don't know how big that game is compared to like the Division. Division's not that big of a game when it comes to like scope and size, but it's.
That's an MM. So that's like ESO.
Yeah.
For Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
For up to level 35. I mean, think about how long it took you to get to level 35 in ESO.
Well, it took me like 6 months because I stopped. And played again.
Well,
I'm now higher level than you in ESO.
Yeah.
So, I win.
Sure. Enjoy your prize.
Next bit of news, and this makes me excited, but also we kind of knew this was coming. Nintendo is going to have a quote-unquote big E3 this year, says Reggie, with new content for Switch and 3DS.
To be fair, Reggie is going to say that. He's not going to say we're going to have a shit E3. But they're going to E3 then. Or are they doing their weird direct?
They're going to have a big E3.
That's all it says.
They're gonna go. I'm going to find out here, but what I was going to find interesting in this title of this article is they mentioned 3DS. Because obviously with the Switch being as popular it is, the concern is it's going to start cannibalizing 3DS sales.
Yeah, because it's portable.
I kind of look at the 3DS kind of like I look like the iPhone to the iPod Touch. The Switch is for the, I don't want to say older gamer, but maybe the more into gaming, more, I guess it is an older thing too, but like has the funds to do this. Versus to me, the 3DS is more, I'd say more childish, and some people will get mad at me for saying that.
I wouldn't say childish. I would just say it's designed more for the younger age.
Yeah, it's good for people to get into gaming. Versus to me, the Switch being a console is going to be.
They're basing it more for like teenagers to mids, and the younger console is based more from early teens to younger.
So in a recent interview with Fox News, Reggie, feel amazed, I love his name,
Fox News,
teased fans with talk of Nintendo's big E3 plans. Quote, E3 is always big for Nintendo. We look at each E3 as a unique opportunity to tell our story, and we're going to have a big E3 this year. I can just picture Reggie saying that. Like, that's a very Reggie quote right there.
Is that just Reggie talking his usual shit though, or do you think there's something genuinely big on the way? Because he says that every fucking year.
Yeah. We're gonna see here. We gotta let him finish his quote.
Go on.
Quote, we're going to be showcasing a variety of games. We will have experiences for consumers and then there's ... Consumers will be able to attend the show for the very first time, so I'm not going to tell you all of various games and all of our little secrets for E3, but I can tell you that E3 is going to be a major opportunity for us to showcase not only the Nintendo Switch, but also coming content for the 3DS. That to me tells them they're going to have stuff playable on the floor. That to me tells them they're going to be at the convention with the booth. I don't know if they're going to do a press conference, and if they did a press conference, Reggie needs to lead it.
Yeah.
You don't need the people from Japan.
Don't let the other guys
Don't let them do it.
That's interesting though, because they've been away from E3 for a couple of years now, haven't they? Doing their little direct segment where they just have that very oddball video. Although I do like the one that
I like the direct because it lets Nintendo be Nintendo.
Yeah.
The one last year, the Treehouse Live thing they did was really weird when we covered it.
The Treehouse Live was awful.
That was it was Zelda. It was Pokemon and Zelda.
It was good in the sense that that's really all they had to show. So yeah, why not play it for several hours? But I mean, for us, it was like a nightmare. But
yes.
It was very, very bizarre. I missed the days where they had an E3 on the floor thing and Reggie led it, and they did the first time they announced the 3DS. I remember that they had it like for all the audience members had one like under their seat, like Oprah style or whatever, and they were handing them out, and they were getting to check out the 3D effect for the first time in the flesh, and the crowd were freaking out.
Can you talk about the picture they used in this?
It's a great picture.
I'm gonna try and put this.
Please do.
It's enjoyable. You're doing this, so make sure you put that.
I'll remember,
because that's a great picture of them. Yeah. But no, it's interesting because this makes me like you said. I wonder if they're going to do a direct, or if they're going to do a presentation, or if they're going to do something new. I think what they need to not do is what they did last year.
Yeah. The Treehouse.
It was good, but there wasn't much to show, and also at the same time, like it was the same information because you only show so much of one game.
Well, the problem with Nintendo is they usually don't have much to show because they just don't have a lot going on. I mean, of all especially three major consoles,
the Wii U generation,
right?
Like the Wii generation,
of the three major consoles, they were barely releasing games. So this would be the perfect opportunity if they could come out and hit it like PlayStation hits it in terms of game. They would knock it out of the park.
That's what Microsoft says. That Phil Spencer said that Microsoft's not going to focus on hardware this. I think we talked about last time. They focus on hardware. They're going to focus on software for it.
Good.
So you obviously, on Microsoft's perspective,
they changed their.
You're going to get
their conference time, didn't they? Microsoft.
Yeah, they changed the Sunday.
Right, because they're usually
Monday morning. Because then Sony's usually after them in the afternoon.
Yeah, they're in the evening. So and then you have Ubi and EA during the day usually.
So it'll be interesting to see, and I don't know where Bethesda's gonna.
They're usually the very, very first evening. Bethesda.
But now that Microsoft's there,
guys.
Like, are they going to go after Microsoft?
That's a good question. And also, if Nintendo are going to be there, where do they fall in that? Are they going to take Monday morning?
Microsoft's thing. Yeah. I mean, but I'm interested. I think E3 this year, in my opinion, is going to be one of the better ones. I think last year was good, and I think Sony did the best. Obviously, I hate saying they're the winner, but I think they had the best presentation, had the best hype, had the best,
and they kept overall a lot of their promises as well. I mean, aside from Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue, which are two games that we haven't really heard much about since then, all the other stuff is coming true. Like Crash is about to be released here soon, and some of the bigger announcements from last year. Yeah, 2 months. It's nice that they, The Last of Us obviously is a long way off, but they said it was a long way off. Same thing with
the Kojima game.
Yeah. Death Stranding.
Yeah. Days Gone is probably, who knows how far that. It'll be interesting.
Days Gone is closer to release than those other two.
Yeah. At some point, we'll do an E3 predictions podcast, and we'll
for sure. What's going on there. And of course, we'll try and have it live for you guys as well. It's one of our favorite things to do in the year is our E3 show,
and see what we got right.
And it's always
we always have one balls to the wall like crazy one of like I want this.
Yeah.
So I have a few predictions up my sleeve, but that's the news for this week. So basically, you got there's a train.
Yeah,
sorry.
I live by trains. Yeah.
Nintendo's gonna have a big E3. We've got the DLC for Final Fantasy, and
Destiny 2.
We got Destiny 2. Those are kind of the big news things. There's a few more here and there. I think it was last week. Something dropped last week, and I was like, of course it dropped after we recorded, but I can't remember what it was now. Because news in the video game industry just cyclic.
Yeah,
it just keeps going.
Choppy and changey.
What do we got? I'm gonna have you talk about the sales we got on PlayStation.
It's going to be Xbox first, sir.
No.
In tradition.
No.
So
I've been off a week.
So glad you're back at the fold here. Yeah. So this is how we do things now. We do the Xbox after the news section. But yeah, so we're going to move into sales for Xbox Live.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.